All right, let's go out and talk to our mock drafter of the week and talk to Zack Patraw, who is the president of the NFL Draft Bible on Fan Nation, powered by Sports Illustrated. Zach, what do you think of that intro? That's something, isn't it?
No, I love that intro, man. It got me hyped for what's about to come here, man.
that's gonna get you pumped up now every week before you put out your next mock draft. You fire that up on the playlist, you'll be ready to roll.
Absolutely.
First thing, the NFL Draft Bible. Do you have draft commandments? We were wondering this when thinking it before you came onto the program. Like, do you have strict commandments that go into every draft before you put this whole thing together and put it out for all the fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's one and only commandment. It's no fluff. It's give you guys exactly what we are thinking and just give you the most up-to-date and most accurate information that you can get. That's our one and only commandment there.
I like it. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So Dolphins, 2 first-round picks going into this thing. Obviously there's Deshaun Watson rumors that are all happening, but if the Dolphins do keep their picks, number 3, the big question, what do you have them doing?
Yeah, so actually when I was writing this mock draft, I reached out to a couple other Sports Illustrated beat writers, and one of them I did talk to the Miami beat writer out there, and he wanted me to try to see if I could find a trade where you guys trade back, but still keep your pick inside the top 10. And that's, one thing it's been a lot of talks about quarterback needy teams trading up with Miami. So I tried to find a team that would do that. I couldn't figure a trade that would keep you guys inside the top 10. So I stuck with you guys at 3 here, and I took Penei Sewell. I think that Sewell has the highest upside of any offensive lineman in this class. He's still a bit raw, but I think if you could develop him into your blind side blocker, either on the right side or the left side, depending on who you have, if it's two of your left-handed guy or if it's a right-handed quarterback, who knows? But I think you could develop him into a stud as a blind side blocker.
Okay, Zach. One word is a word you should never use in the top 5. Develop. He need to already be there.
Hey man, let me just tell you right now, there's little to develop with him. Let me put it this way. There's some footwork that I want him to work on, and there's some hand technique, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you develop him, I'm saying develop him into like one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Not develop him into this like average offensive lineman. I'm saying this guy has the upside to be the best offensive lineman in the NFL.
Now,
Leroy.
with the Dolphins really struggling at all the skill positions. And you have an opportunity to either do one or two things. You said you couldn't find a guy to move down, but in the first round and even in the second round, you have a chance to improve the talent around Tua. I would contend that even with Sewell and extra protection, if you don't have any separation outside, Tua's in the same boat holding the football. So why would you suggest going with an offensive lineman, which is going to take time for him to gel with the rest of the offensive line, versus a guy who can be an impact player right away?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a fair question. I'll tell you right now, this skill position group, whether you look at the wide receivers or even the running backs, I think you could get a really good running back, somewhere in the second round. And you guys are picking at the top half of the second round here, so I think you could address that need elsewhere. I want to get as much protection as I can around my starting quarterback. Then I can start building out from there. I know you guys need some wide receiver help. Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, they're sitting right there for the pickings at 3. But I'm gonna tell you, man, this wide receiver group, it's deep. It's deep. I can snag a starting wide receiver in the 3rd round this year. I can almost guarantee it.
So you look at it more of what's available versus how deep that position is. So you don't need one of the top 3 for the wide receiver to take a wide receiver and it be effective. But you're not going to get another left tackle later on in any round or in the first round.
Exactly. You nailed it. Yeah. Like I said earlier, that Sewell has the potential to be, arguably the best offensive lineman in the NFL. So if I can make that happen, I'm going to make it happen.
All right.
It doesn't tickle Leroy's.
No, and look, I get all of the like. There's nothing that you said that wasn't accurate, and to some extent, I agree with you. I always believe if you can get the best at a position, that you do it. But what changes that whole concept is if it's deep at a certain position, you don't have to have the best because you can get quality underneath that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too, I will say, is I tried to get Devonta Smith somewhere in there for you guys to pair him up with Tua again. But with the recent comments of Devonta Smith, I kind of didn't.
He threw his guy under the bus. I was like, oh,
that's
man.
not why it's not happening. He's $150.
No, man, like he knew he had the reuniting with Tua on the table, and all of a sudden this Mac Jones thing leaks out. I'm like, what the hell?
It's crazy.
When have you heard of a receiver or a quarterback or an NFL player not weighing in because he was too light?
Yeah, it's been a while, and I'll tell you, I did know going into the Senior Bowl that he wasn't going to be weighing in because I did get reports earlier from some sources inside the league that he actually weighed in at a $164 at his training facility. So I knew he wasn't going to be weighing in. $164, man. Like he might weigh in near 170 come weighing time, but man, he's got some skinny limbs, that's for sure.
Goodness gracious!
He looks like a spider.
Oh. He's not even a UFC welterweight.
No.
He's like 6'6" too. So that makes it even more crazy how skinny he is.
He's a weight cut away from being Max Holloway, Leroy. Robbie, go ahead. What do you got for him, man?
So you explained it because you said you focus on your skill positions in the later round. You have the Dolphins taking with their first second-round pick the wide receiver from Florida, Kadarius Toney, and then at 50, their second-round pick, we saw this guy down here, Javadi Williams, the running back from North Carolina.
Did we?
200 yards rushing, and that wasn't even the leading rusher for the game for that team. So that's probably why you want so many good skill positions in the second or third round.
Exactly. I love Javadi Williams. There's some talk about him potentially being the top running back in this NFL draft class once all is said and done. The kid is super talented. Like you said, you guys seen him, run all over Miami, and that was a fun game to watch, man. And then grabbing Kadarius Toney, keeping him in Florida there too. You get two really good skill position players. I think if you could put Kadarius Toney inside and keep Preston Williams and whoever else on the outside, I think you got enough weapons there. Kind of like you said when I talked about it earlier, that's why you address that tackle position early, and you get some of these guys on day two here.
Zach, the most alarming thing I noticed about your mock draft, speaking of down here, Jalen Phillips. Now, a lot of mock drafts I've seen, he's regularly in the teens in the first round. You have him falling all the way to 59 to the Minnesota Vikings deep into the second round. I assume it's medical concerns and whatnot, but I think you're the only one that I've seen that has Jalen Phillips falling that late in the draft.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's medical concerns. There's some other things that that haven't been brought to light yet. So there are some things that we got to dig into still, but I think it's enough to knock him down some mock drafts here, which is why I wanted to get him down around the 50 range. I think 59. I don't think he might not go that low, but the way the draft fell, that's where he went in my mock draft. Just where the players went, where team needs went. I couldn't do trades in the second round, so there wasn't any of that. But I do think. Around the 40 range is probably where you're going to end up seeing him go because of his injuries. Concussions linger, ankle injuries linger, stuff like that. He did medically retire when he was at UCLA. How much does he love the game, after dealing with all these injuries? I wouldn't blame him. Dealing with injuries, man. I played some football. I couldn't go play college football because of my injuries, so I get it, So it's definitely a bit of a concern, which is why I think he does drop a little bit more in the draft than we originally expect.
Zach, before we get you out of here, man, we've put so much focus down here on the Dolphins on the offense, but you do have them taking Micah Parsons with their second first-round pick. So just him as a player, what do you like, and what do you think that would add to Miami if he were to fall to Miami there?
Yeah, man, I like Micah Parsons as a talent. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a top 5 talent. The reason why I have him fall in the 18, and again, I'll tell you, he could fall even further because of some off the field issues. You know, even Bucky Brooks has gone on national television saying that there's some immaturity issues with him. So I do think that teams might shy away from him in other incidents that he has been involved in while he was at Penn State. But the kid is uber talented, man. Like, his ability in coverage, his ability to rush the passer, his ability to read plays, play recognition, his fluidity in the open field, his athleticism. Everything is there that you want in an NFL player. And if you guys can land him at 18, man, it'll be a steal. You just got to keep him on the field and out of trouble.
All right, check out Zack Patraw. He is the president of the NFL Draft Bible on Fan Nation, powered by Sports Illustrated. Thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Yep,
Thanks.
it was fun.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right, that's our mock drafter of the week. Zach, great job by him, man. I guess 164, Leroy.
I told you that.
164.
I told you that. If his listing weight was 170 and everybody assumed he weighed 170, what is the only reason why he wouldn't weigh in?